EFF leader Julius Malema and party MP Mbuyiseni Ndlozi returned to Randburg Magistrate's Court today. The two are charged with assaulting a police officer at the funeral of Winnie Madikizela-Mandela in 2018.
That's right, eNCA's Manqoba, Mchunu and senior reporter Siphamandla Goge are covering the story for us and join us now live to give us the very latest. They're, of course, at the Randburg Magistrate's Court. And colleagues, good morning to you. And I suppose let's get into it. Yesterday we saw day one of that court appearance at the Randburg Magistrate's Court. But for you, Manqoba, Mchunu, those appearances rather happening in court, give us some context in terms of what happened yesterday and what is to be expected today again.
Well, certainly, Tumelo, yesterday we saw Colonel Johan Venter, who is the complainant in this matter, giving his version of events as to what transpired at the burial site of Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela on the 14th of April in 2018. You recall that he's the one that opened a case against the EFF leader Julius Malema as well as MP Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, claiming that they had assaulted him while they were trying to make their way into the cemetery. And of course, yesterday detailing some of those events leading up to that scuffle that was captured also on CCTV footage. We did see the state also bringing in that CCTV footage with Colonel Venter pointing out the EFF leader Julius Malema as well as Mbuyiseni Ndlozi as being the people that actually assaulted him, also using some hand gestures to show the court how exactly he was pushed by both Mbuyiseni Ndlozi as well as Julius Malema. So in terms of what he says happened, he says that he was pushed so hard by Julius Malema to such an extent that he lost his balance and that he fell against the guardhouse. And he says before that happened, Julius Malema made it quite clear that he was not going to be stopped by a white man from going inside the cemetery. So those are some of the sentiments that we heard from Colonel Johan Venter. But in terms of the permission, or whether Malema had permission or had that accreditation to go into the cemetery, Colonel Venter sticking to his gun, saying that he did not see a visible permit on the car that was ferrying Julius Malema. And that's the reason why he says he stopped Julius Malema from going into the court. But we also saw the defense poking holes into his testimony. We saw the defense lawyer, Lawrence Holds, bringing up some of the contradictions between his initial statement that he opened at Dhaka State Police Station in 2018 and his later statement and testimony before court. And one of those issues that he highlighted was the issue of the occupants that were inside that vehicle, with the claims that were made before by Colonel Johan Venter being the fact that there were 3 occupants, but the defense putting it to him that there were actually 4 occupants inside that vehicle. Also the issue of the medical certificate, because Venter had initially claimed in his statement that in fact he was injured, he had suffered injuries to his back, but he did not go to a medical doctor to get a certificate. And there were questions asked as to why exactly he didn't do that. And the reason the state or the defense believes Tumelo is because it says, as it puts to him yesterday, that he's making up his evidence as the trial goes on so that he can suit his version of events. So that's really what transpired yesterday. We do expect him, of course, to return to the dock today to face more grueling cross-examination from the defense.
And Siphamandla, what can we expect today? They're certainly milking the situation, the EFF grandstanding yesterday in front of a lot of people and with quite a high-profile police presence that we can see behind you. Is it going to be the same today?
Indeed, it's going to be another rally today, day 2. So we expect that hundreds of EFF members will continue to come here to show support and solidarity to their leaders. Yesterday, it was a bit of a slow start. It took some time for them to arrive here at court because even their leader, Julius Malema and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, arrived first. Things got off to a very slow start yesterday. But today, I can tell you that it's totally different because the EFF stage, the track is already here. Going to ask my colleague, Joe Komane, just to pan and show you what is happening in the background here. Police are having a gathering and then they've just been briefed. They've had their daily briefing here in the morning. Too many of them are here today, but Up there you will see an EFF truck. That is the stage that is being set for Julius Malema to address his supporters today, or his party's members. Yesterday he said he was not going to be able to address them because he is expected to take the stand today. So he did not go at length yesterday addressing his party's members, saying he hopes that today will be the day that he will address them. He briefly addressed them, basically greeting them and thanking them for coming to court to show support and solidarity to him and Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Police are on higher alert here. It's, high visibility. It has always been the case since yesterday, and I'm told that today they have basically beefed up and reinforced because they expect hundreds of EFF members. Yesterday I was able to count about 50 buses that were ferrying EFF members and more than 60 police cars that were out here at the Randburg Magistrate's Court. So it tells you about this gathering.
Manqoba, is 9 a.m. still the expected time in terms of when those proceedings will commence again today?
Those proceedings to continue at 9 o'clock this morning. But in terms of also what we can expect from court today, we do expect the state to call 2 more witnesses who were involved in the filming or capturing of that CCTV footage. We do know that one of the witnesses also is the one that actually gave Colonel Johan Venter that footage from the cemetery, which has now become part of the evidence here in this particular trial. So they are going to briefly give their evidence before court, and they are also going to face cross-examination from the defense. But the likelihood is that if that is completed by today, and also if Colonel Johan Venter's testimony is completed by today, the state could then wrap up its case. And if that happens, we then do expect the defense to start its case, and perhaps it could call Julius Malema as well as party MP Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi to come before the dock and to give their version of events as to what they say happened. You recall that they've denied those charges. They say that they did not assault Colonel Johan Venter, insisting that they were only just fighting their way to bury their mother. And in fact, yesterday we saw the defense also pulling out a letter or a statement from Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, also confirming that indeed Julius Malema was part of the family. So that's in terms of what you can expect. We can expect perhaps, if things go the state's way, for it to wrap its case today.
All right. Thank you so much, Mchunu and Siphamandla Goge, for that update.